moving on to our last subject, and our last subject is it's something that me and Simba love to discuss. I recently just got a Nintendo Switch Lite a couple of weeks ago, um, and one of the games that I was recommended to by Simba was Breath of the Wild, Zelda Breath of the Wild. I was wanting a game to play on my Switch, and I was kind of in between certain games, and I was thinking either Pokemon or Breath of the Wild. But Simba had told me, "Yeah, Breath of the Wild, you'll absolutely love this game." So after taking his advice and just watching a ton load more and like reviews on the game, just to see how great the game is, I don't think I've seen any bad reviews out there. Breath of the Wild is a game that right now is the current game I'm playing. And it's a game that I thoroughly enjoy. It's really a game that I really do enjoy. So getting into our topic is pretty much the topic is Breath of the Wild, is it any good in 2021? So I'm gonna pose that question to you first, Simba. So Breath of the Wild in 2021, do you think it's a game that has far exceeded your expectations? And if it has, how do you compare it to other games out there, especially the games that are next year? Big story games like Assassin's Creed. How do you compare Breath of the Wild to any of those games?
Man, I think it's just one of those games that are timeless, eh? It's one of those games that you can pick up like maybe 10 years from now or anything, and it'll still be a really good game. With Zelda, like it's the art style that's kind of like really attractive. Man, just the fact that the first thing, like, it's not really linear. I love the fact that it's not linear, like the story. Like, yeah, you have your main quest, but man, from the get-go, from as soon as you like unlock that first tower and do your first trial, you're pretty much, the world's yours, man. Like, you can go left, right, like you can go north or south, like it doesn't matter where you go. Like you can just explore, and the whole area is open to you. There'll be occasional times where like you need to, like, for example, when you go to the cold, like when you go to the cold, like you need to cook something to make you to be able to stand the cold, and so you don't lose any health. Don't lose any health. But it's things like that, like that the fact that in order to get to the next area, all you need to do a little bit of problem solving. It's not locked behind like a series of quests. All you need to do is try and figure out, okay, so how can we get through this? Like, there's food that you can cook, there's armor that you can acquire. It's just, I like the fact that it's open world. And the one thing that I really like about it, and this kind of sets it apart from like all the other games, is the fact that if you're playing Breath of the Wild and you see something and you think that you can do it, or you think that it'll make sense to do this certain thing, it most likely will. Like, for example, I had to cross like I think it was like the river or the stream was too powerful, so if I jumped in, like, it'll take me across. Like, the fact that I could cut down a tree, the log would fall down, and I could use it as like a bridge to go to the other side. Like, I was like, bro, I was really amazed at that. And another thing was that if you can light something on fire, you can use that as an updraft for your glider. Yeah. And it's like all kind of like, it's really amazing how intricate the developers, and they've taken this into account. So when you're playing Breath of the Wild, you're like thinking like, man, I wonder if I light this on fire, I can use this for something. You probably can, and it probably does work. Like, I was just amazed the fact that I could use a log just to cross to another island, like another thing. I just cut down the tree, the log fell down, and it landed like right across to the outside, and I just hopped on top and like crossed. And that was cool, man. And like I said, like, I got into a part where I think I'm near like the volcano side.
Yeah, the mountain.
And like you can't go on there unless you have like armor, or like you mix some, like cook up something to help you withstand the heat. And man, that's what I found out how to do it, and man, it's so cool. And that's the one thing that sets it apart. Like, you can have like your trials, you can have your side quests, and that you always find something similar in another game that has that kind of stuff. But yeah, the other stuff's just amazing. It's like physics. Is it physics? No, or just common sense. Like, I guess
Physics for the some of it is actually physics that work, like the updraft, and
yeah,
they creates like because air rises creates an updraft.
yeah,
I agree with you, man. Like a lot of the points that you bring up and stuff, it's doing minuscule and detail. Those are the things that really make the game. Because you think about it, I mean, graphics is not anything to boast about, you know.
no,
But I think they focused intently on the gameplay just for that.
yeah,
And man, it's such a beautiful game. Like I think I would have regretted it if I had got Pokemon instead of Zelda.
yeah. I reckon
I
you would have
would.
too. Yeah,
But Zelda is man, and the fact that I get to play it on my Nintendo Lite, and it's not in dock mode, but handheld mode. It's much more of an intimate experience. And I think you said it yourself. You like to play it while you're watching like Netflix or just doing something on the side. I like to do the same thing, but I like to listen to music while I play. And I enjoy it that way much more. But the one thing that I really enjoyed about this game is it's the dungeons. They're challenging.
yeah,
I found them challenging. There's probably really smart people out there who found the dungeon not like really easy, but shit, man, they really got my thinking cap on, especially when they got to the big beast, the elephant beast.
yeah.
I was stuck in there for almost 2 days. I think more than over 2 days I was stuck in there.
I was the same as you, man. I was the same as you.
You got out of before me, but there's so many times that I just wanted to find. I was just gonna look up online or go onto Reddit to find how to get past it, but I thought to myself, man, I'm not gonna enjoy the game that way.
No.
And it's funny because I came across that, but I came across beating that puzzle just by like a mistake.
Yeah.
I'm so dumb, man. I was so dumb. I just came by from a mistake. I didn't realize you can move the trunk
Yeah.
to elevate the levels for you to be able to get to certain like parts of the elephant. And I was like, my goodness, how did I not think of this? And it forces you to think outside the square.
Yeah.
So if you've completed this game without any help from the internet, you, my friend, you're really smart, because it takes a smart person to beat this game. And I don't want to stand on the hill or die on this hill and say that, because it's a game that is challenging. It is made for you to be challenged. It's for you to cook certain things, to survive in certain elements, for you to build certain materials of gear and certain type of weapons. It's a thinking person's game. And that's the thing I like about it, is that it's a hard, like but I'm not playing it like the hard mode that you're playing it, Simba, but even in just regular mode, man, I just find I still find that quite challenging, you know. And maybe that's because I was never I was never really big into like handheld games like lately. Like the last one I had was my 3DS, but I think I only played Smash and something else on there. I wasn't really like a but I concur with you. Breath of the Wild in 2021, you're right. It's 10 years from now, this game will still be a masterpiece. Every one of those games that you could always come back to and keep playing.
Definitely. And I think, like, you know, I recommend anyone who picks up a Switch, you definitely get this game first. That's the flagship game for the Switch, man. Like, it came out with the Switch.
When Switch first came out, this was their game?
This was the game. This was the game. And it came out with, and everyone, the whole community just lost it, man, how good it was. And yeah, it's still good in 2021. It's not behind. It wouldn't fall behind any games. It's probably at par or even above, like most games that are still coming out.
Bro, the reviews have all been like, I think IGN give it a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think GameSpot gave it a 10 out of 10. Like I couldn't find anything lower than 9.
Yeah.
And that's saying something. So this game, like I said, graphics are not gonna blow you out of the water. If you're going in there for graphics, then don't. But for pure gameplay, it's good. I think it's a masterpiece. So far, I'm enjoying it.